What's going on, Markham Gardens friends and family? Welcome to the Markham Gardens, where we teach about gardening and a whole bunch of other random stuff that we do throughout the day. So today I wanted to bring you guys along on a project. You guys, if you didn't watch the video on the old oak tree, it's just a short that I put up there. If you guys will watch that. Basically, the old oak tree that's at the edge of the property of the Markham Gardens has been dead since we moved in. And I have been wanting that thing chopped down. Well, we ended up having a company come in. They went ahead and chopped that tree down and cut it up into segments. But I did not have an axe or a maul or anything to split that wood to turn it into firewood. That's another project we'll probably do in the future. I'm wanting to go ahead and install a wooden stove in the house. Figure I'll go ahead and show you guys that process as well. But today, I am working on creating an axe. And so basically what has happened is I walked into my shop and I realized in the corner of one of the old, well, let me go ahead and show you. Right back here used to be a garage door. And right here on this corner, I had no idea the previous owner left this head. And so I do not have a way to split wood. And so I needed to create a way to split wood. And this head is perfectly good. And so what I'm going to do is, this head is a little bit rusty. So it started to build up a little bit of rust. It's been sitting there for a little while. And so basically that rust is going to corrode. You guys know about rust. If you don't, basically it will corrode into metal until the metal will break. It will break down. Rust is the worst thing for metal. And so today I'm going to go ahead and treat this head. I'm going to go ahead and season it. That way it lasts for a long time and stops all of the rust process in this head. So I'm also going to go through the process of attaching it to a handle. I'll show you guys the process there as well. And here's the handle that I've got. Whoop, almost dropped it, but here's the handle that I got. This is a hickory axe handle. Just went ahead and purchased this at our local lumber place. And so I'm going to install that axe head on top of here. But before we do any of that, I need to show you guys how to season it. And the first thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to throw that sucker in our oven to go ahead and preheat it to cook, to open up all the pores on the metal to be able to absorb the oil. So I will get back to you in just a moment. We'll go inside and we'll go ahead and preheat that oven to get that done. All right, guys, so in order to heat up the axe head, basically what I'm going to do before seasoning it is place it in the oven. This is probably the easiest way to do it. If you have some sort of a butane torch, or you have a propane torch, or you have something, a method outside that you can use, that's fine. I do not, so the best option that I'm going to have is going to be the oven inside of the house. The first thing you want to do, let me go ahead and flip you guys. You want to go ahead and set your oven between 400 and 500 degrees. Ideally, you want it about 450 to 500, but you can go all the way down to 400 and it will still be effective to open up the pores on that metal to be able to absorb the oil so that you can season it properly. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is up this temperature. See if I can do that while I've got you guys here. We'll set that to 4. Well, no, we're not either. We're going to do 450. And then start. So I'm going to go ahead and let that thing preheat. And once we get that to 400 degrees, I'll show you guys how in this oven to begin the seasoning process on it. So I'll catch you guys in just a little bit. All right, guys, before I throw this axe head into the oven, before I go ahead and heat it up, I need to make a way so that I can handle this once it's hot. Because we're talking well over 400 degrees that this thing's going to be when I go dunk it into oil. So I need a way of, handling it. So I've got some wire here, it's just some regular baling wire. I'm going to go ahead and pull a piece of this off, wrap it through this hole here that we've got. I'm sure there's an actual term for that. If you guys know the term, please put it down in the comments. Let me know what the actual term is for this hole that's in this axe head. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this wire through there, and that way I can use a pair of pliers or channel locks to actually carry this so that I'm not burning my hands. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've officially got this on a wire. This will allow me to handle it with a pair of channel locks or some sort of a tool. That way I can grab a hold of this, because this is going to be ridiculous hot. And so that way I can dump it into, or dip it into the oil. And you guys, you can use basically any type of oil, but today we're going to go ahead and use some used motor oil. I've got it laying around from an oil change that I recently did, and that's what I'm going to use. So follow along as I go ahead and treat this, and we'll season this, and then I'll come back to you and we'll show the install process of it. All right, guys, so the oven is done. We're going to go ahead and pull it out. Now, don't forget and reach in there and try to grab it with your hands, guys. Use a pair of pliers or something like that. This sucker's going to be hot. It's been in there at 450 degrees, but let me flip you around. We'll grab it out of the oven, and we're going to go dip it into our oil. So I've got our oil pan with our old oil and set up out there. So I'm just going to grab this. This is why we put the wire on it. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out of here. So we are going to come right over here. I've got the old oil sitting in a pan. You can see that oil filter still sitting there. I'm going to take this hot. It's going to go right into that oil. Guys, you can see it's boiling, bubbling. It is hot. Hot, hot. And I don't have it fully submerged there, but it is definitely still getting oil up on it. Yeah, there we go. We are fully covered now. You can hear that sizzle. But as that oil sits there on that axe head, it is going to start absorbing into that axe head, and we won't have to worry about rust on this thing. So you just want to make sure you get it fully coated. Get it fully covered. And guys, I'm just going to leave it in here. I'm going to leave this in here and let it just soak until it completely cools off. And then I'll pull it out, we'll dry it off, and then we'll start installing it into the axe head. So stick with me, guys, and I'll show you the rest of the process. All right, guys, so it has been 2 days since we put that axe head in the used motor oil. And I went ahead and left it in that motor oil for a couple days. Once it cools off, it's not going to soak up any more oil. It's just the soonest I could get back to this project. So anyway, I'm going to turn it around so you guys can see the axe head. And we're going to start installing this axe head on the actual axe hickory handle that I purchased that I showed you guys in the previous portion of the video. So let's go ahead and turn this around. All right, so here is the axe head. This is after seasoning. You guys can see it is definitely oiled up nicely. I went ahead and wiped it down with a rag just so it's not covered in used motor oil. I don't know about you guys, but I love the smell of this used motor oil. I guess if I was a mechanic and messed with it all the time, you know, I probably wouldn't like the smell as much, but kind of like loving the smell of tires until you work in a tire shop for several years. But anyway, this thing smells amazing. It is fully seasoned. We're not going to have to worry about rust on this thing. It's going to last us for a lot longer. So let's go ahead and get this thing installed to the actual axe handle. And as I showed you guys previously, guys, this is a hickory axe handle that I went ahead and purchased. And so I'm going to show you the process on how to get this thing together. Hang tight with me and I'll get you set up. All right, guys, so I'm gonna try to show you guys with my camera angle here, but basically I'm going to take this head, and we're taking the end piece here of this axe handle, which the head portion goes on this end. Obviously, we're not putting it on the handle end, but what you're going to do is you're going to set it in there. You guys can see I've just got it set in there. And then you are not going to strike the top here. A lot of people will make that mistake, and they'll grab a hammer and they'll start hammering around on this top piece. But that is actually not the correct method to get a handle to go up in there. The correct method is, and granted, I usually smack it on the ground a few times first, but I will basically take this and I will smack this end on the ground, and it forces the head through the handle through this head. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Wooden shop is going to get a little loud, guys. All right, so you can see as I'm hitting, and I'm hitting it on wood. I'm not even hitting it on something hard. If you've got some concrete or something like that that you can hit it on, even better. You guys can see it's already coming through there. And so I'm just going to keep working it down. I'm going to keep slamming it down until it's all the way through. It's working! Look! It's almost all the way through there. All right, so now you can take, now that you've got to this point right here, you can also take it and hit the end with your hammer. Just hold your head and start hitting the end of the handle here. Yep, we're still making progress. And we'll just keep working it till it's all the way in. Almost there. You guys can see here on the handle, there's a spot. I don't know if you guys can see this. You see that little ridge right there? That is the seat of it. So if you look at this, let me turn around this way. You can see it starts to get white again, but you can see there's this little line, what looks like a little line in the wood right here. You want to seat it all the way down to that point. So I'm going to smack it a few more times. See if we can seat it down to that line. We're almost there. All right, we're there. All right, we've got it seated all the way down. And so now, let me go ahead and I'm going to grab a knife and I'm going to trim off this portion right here. You can see we just frayed a little bit. I wanted a nice tight fit, so I didn't shave it down to fit perfectly into there. I went ahead and let it shave off the wood as it slid down. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that up, make that look pretty, and then I'll be right back to you. All right, guys, so I've got that piece trimmed off. You can see it looks nice and neat. The axe head is completely on here. Now this is dropped. It's a little high. I really don't want it sticking out this far. I probably want to go ahead and cut it down to about right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. You can do that with either a handsaw. You can do that with a, sorry, let me back up so you can see my head. You can do that with a grinding wheel. Anything that you can just to cut this off. You can use a jigsaw, miter saw, whatever it is, guys. But I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and cut that piece off and make it to where it's a little bit lower before we go ahead and put our wedge in. All right, guys, I'm back. I went ahead and cut that top piece off. You can see that I've cut it down just a little bit. Not perfect, but it will work. And so now with this kit, you can see it comes with two of these little wedges. Let me turn the light on here. It comes with two of these little wedges. And so what I'm going to do is, there is usually a slit in the top of this to put a wooden piece in. However, this one is so tight, and after cutting this piece off, there is no separation in that wood on that portion right there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two wedges, and I'm going to put one of them sideways, like this, to go ahead and spread the gap between the wood. And then I'm going to take one and run it in crossways so that it also presses into the side. So what that's going to do is it's going to push the wood into the side over here, into the side over here, and then the one that is sideways like this will push the wood into the side over here and over here. So I'm going to go ahead and hammer those in, and we'll do that. And this you can just use a hammer. And I'm going to try to do this to where you guys can see. And excuse the noise, because I'm pretty sure it's going to get kind of loud. But let me get it to where you guys can see what's going on here. All right, so hopefully I don't knock my phone off. But I'm going to go ahead and put one of them sideways like this, like I said. I'm going to start hammering that in. And what this is going to do is spread that wood out in this head. You can see that split that's in the wood right there. All right, so I got that one shoved all the way in there. And you can see that it spread that wood apart just a little bit. And then this one, I'm going to turn it the other direction and place it right here. Sorry, phone is sliding on me here. All right, now that one is hammered in. All right, guys, so you can see I've got one here. It did split a little bit. It'll be okay. It's all just inside of this axe head, so unless it starts falling out, it won't be a problem. But this one here, you can see, has spread this open this direction, and then this one here will squeeze it this other direction. And so now our axe head is on, guys. Now you can, I've also seen, I mean, they provided this piece of wood to go ahead and go into the center portion, but as I was saying, it was just so tight in there already from the way that I hammered it in, that there was no way to get that wood into these gaps. And so what you can do, though, is you can see that I've got a little bit of gap here, and I've got a little bit of gap here, and I've got a little bit in the center. I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece of wood down, and I'm going to go ahead and hammer a few wedges into those spots just to seal up these gaps and just to go ahead and help it hold a little bit better. So I will be right back. All right, guys, so I went ahead and took 3 little pieces of that wood, and you can see here, I went ahead and inserted them into these slots. I'm trying to get the camera to focus here. On here, I put one right in the dead center, and I put one over here on the side. And that has definitely spread it out. It has mushroomed on this area. So I am done, guys. It looks like it is on there pretty good. The true test will be when I start smacking on a piece of wood to find out just how well I did. But that's the basics of it, guys. That's basically how you put a head on an axe, and how you season an axe head to keep it from rusting. Guys, I'm no professional, as you can probably tell. I'm just a regular guy doing just regular projects around the house. And for some of you that have never done this before, sometimes when you plan on doing something, it helps to watch somebody else do it to either learn how to do it correctly or learn how not to do it. So, and as I've said in one of my first videos I ever did, there may be some times where I do things in a way that you go, I'm never going to do it that way. But that has its place as well, and usually helps us in the process of learning how we want to do things and the correct way of doing things. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Something random, a little bit different than just the standard gardening that we usually do. But I now have an axe to go take care of that big dead oak tree that we chopped down, and so we can start some firewood. As I said, there's going to be another video in the future about how to install a wood stove. We will be doing that project inside the house. That's a lot bigger project. Definitely need some more funds to be able to take care of that for now, but that is coming in the future. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, if you would hit that like button, guys. If you see anything in the video that I did absolutely wrong that you just got to tell me about, or if you you appreciate the video, guys, put a comment down there in the comment section. I really appreciate the comments. I will respond to all of your comments, and but it definitely helps out the channel as well. Even if you just have to say you are an idiot, you shouldn't have done it that way. I mean, I'll take that, guys. That works fine. So, but if you haven't subscribed to the channel, guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Helps us out, gets a lot more people in there watching. And if you also see something on here that helped, and you know somebody that's going to be doing this pretty soon, if you'll share the video, guys, feel free to share the video. That way we can get the information out there. But anyway, thank you guys for watching again. Appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all later. Love you. Shalom under the dome. Bye-bye.